Welcome to
Boring.
But Effective. Welcome to another episode of Boring But Effective. Now, I tell you what, we've got one of the biggest names and best blokes in Australian stage and screen with us today.
My
From a
God.
wide-eyed 10-year-old who made his stage debut with the amateur theatre group, the Melbourne Gang Show, back in the 80s, this legendary Aussie actor and author of The Long Road to Overnight Success has written, produced, directed, and appeared in numerous movies, theatre productions, and on TV. He's Scouts Victoria Chief Scout. He's a podcaster, father of four, and married to the fabulous Felicity. I give you the man that has been quoted as saying, "If it's got a motor, I'll try and drive it." Welcome, Shane Jacobson.
Hey, mate, how you doing?
I'm great, bud. Great. Good. Thanks for coming on.
I did. Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. I just did this to catch up with you, mate. I haven't spoken to you for a while. So,
Yeah, that's
I mean, other
no.
people you can call this a podcast if you want, but I'm just going to call it a catch up.
Well, I call it podcast ish because I don't really know what a podcast is, and it's not really just a social media post. It's kind of in between.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So hey, I wanted to bring you on and like the title of the show, boring but effective. There's so many boring things that you would have done in your life that you had to you knew you had to keep bashing away. And, let's talk about the rise of Shane Jacobson. So, you go back to your early acting days and tough industry, right? How did you maintain the burning desire to get through and achieve what you wanted to achieve?
Yeah, well, when you're young and you start out, it's actually not an industry. You know what I mean? When you're young, you've got to try and go in school productions, and that's not an industry. That's just trying to get a role in the school production. Or amateur theatre is not an industry, if you will. It's just you trying to get into amateur theatre. It's not until you gather all those skills that you can actually, kind of enter the industry. And I guess it's a bit like, if you want to be an accountant, you've got to do maths at primary school first. And at that point, they go, "How's the industry?" You go, "I have no idea. I'm just trying to learn how to count, learn how to speak, and learn how to learn, sort of thing." So I mean, how to answer your question first about how do you keep that burning desire? I do think if you're going to follow a dream, I think it just has to be something you can't let go. It's actually that determination that, if you're going for something like, trying to get into entertainment and be an actor and everything else. So there's a lot of people have that dream. And it's a game of who can last the longest in some cases. I was 36 until I became, a recognizable head. So many people would have given up before then, I would have imagined. I mean, you knew me right back at the start, you knew me early on in the journey.
Yeah.
But I think you really do have to have that dog with the bone mentality, or more to the point that you have to have such a passion for it that you're just going to try everything to get there. And I do literally mean that in my world. It's you've got to try everything. Now I get asked a lot. It's probably easier for me to explain it this way. I get asked a lot by a lot of people who've got kids. Anyone I bump into that's got a kid that's half interested in entertainment, they go, "Oh, we know Shane Jacobson. Let's ask him." And I get, how do we get him in? And it's and I've often said if it was football, it would be different because entertainment is I guess a bit mysterious. Like how do you get in the back door of it or the front door in any door, climbing through a window or down the chimney? If it was football, I think it's easier. If you had a son that was interested in football and say you knew someone who was the captain and coach of the Western Bulldogs, right? If your kid had just decided they want to be a footballer, as you would know, I think anyone would inherently know, you wouldn't ring that guy and go, "Look, my son's pretty interested in football. Can you get him a gig at the Western Bulldogs?"
Hey, Bevo, he's
And
only 12 at the minute, but can you draft him?
yeah, can you draft him? And so my answer always is, and if someone goes, "Well, how do you get into that football team?" I think the answer is everyone would inherently know that kid should be kicking a footy and playing with the footy every single day they can. They should learn to kick with both feet. Which foot should they kick with? Kick with both. Which one should they be better with? Just try and be better at both.
Yeah.
What about marking? Absolutely. But do you reckon they should concentrate on handballing or marking? And I think everyone inherently would know the answer is you should focus on all of it if they want to play AFL footy.
Yeah.
All of it. They need to be good at all of it. And it doesn't matter where they get the skills from, but what oval should they practice kicking on? Any oval. You know what I mean? From what distance? From every distance. And the reason I say that is, as we both know, if I give it as a footy analogy or netball or tennis or whatever it may be, I think makes more sense. But with entertainment, yeah, I do have a lot of people say, what should they do? And I just say everything. Should they sing? Sure. Should they dance? Absolutely. Should they do drama or comedy? Yes, do both. Because that was my journey. I literally sang in a band. I did tap dancing. I did stand-up comedy nights. I did radio. I did theatre. I did professional theatre. I did amateur theatre. I did short films. I did TV commercials. And I just, every chance I got to get up and perform anywhere, I took the opportunity, and I formed a barbershop quartet. Like I said, I was lead singer in a rock band, but I had a crack at playing guitar, and so I did all of them. And then eventually, I'd done enough that when I got near the industry, I was able to do a bit of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I kept. Well, I think that as opposed to how did I keep that burning desire, I had a burning desire, which is why I just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think if people have to go and find the burning desire, it's probably not the dream.
Yeah. True. True. Yeah. That's right. There was a lot went on before Kenny made you the household name, and you've been lucky enough to do a few things from then on. But that's a long time. It's 20 years now, isn't it? This year, 20-year
It's
anniversary of
20.
Kenny.
It's funny, just before we jumped on this podcast, mate, I've just finished doing an interview for The Guardian for yeah, exactly that, the 20th anniversary of Kenny, which is this year, which is inconceivable to me that that was 20
Yeah.
years ago. But
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, yeah, and there's been, a lot of water under the bridge since then. I still have a few people say, I saw that film Kenny did, you going to do another one? I haven't got the heart to tell them I've done about 25, but clearly, clearly they only know that one between telly movies and movies, whatever I don't know what the actual number is, to be honest, but yeah, once, some people, some old people, you going to do another movie? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a couple.
Yeah. That's. What about a sequel? Well, I don't know. Is there such a thing as a sequel to Kenny?
Yeah, no, but we did a TV series called Kenny's World, which we thought did all the things that we wanted to do after that, or gave all those answers. The reason we never did another movie, we got asked a lot. I mean, and there's all sorts of money can get offered, and people go, "Would you do a second one?" The beauty of people discovering the movie Kenny was they thought it was real. They thought that they were watching a mockumentary or documentary. They now know it's a mockumentary,
Yeah.
which means not a real documentary, and enjoying the character. And it was a camera crew following, the idea was that it was a camera crew following this guy around, and the world got to witness what it was like to spend days with Kenny.
Yeah.
But to do it again, people would then know that I'm an actor and that Kenny's not real and that it's not a camera crew following him around. It's actually my brother who's the director and we're making a movie. And it pulls a lot of the kind of surprise and the joy out of it.
Yeah.
Um, and Kenny's, the character Kenny's not an actor. He's actually a worker. So if you went a second one, you'd have to go bigger and make it more of a movie production. And then it kind of isn't Kenny in his element. It
Yeah.
makes more sense watching him be very real and grounded than it is watching him in a big production movie. So
Yeah.
that's why we left him alone.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the best of decisions.
Yeah, I think so. And don't get me wrong, there's other films, we've done other films you'd love to do a second or a third movie of, but with Kenny, we just figured it was it's again, you can't fool an audience twice, so they'll be going, oh, he's pretending to do that, and when they know it's a performance, it just feels different. But it was easier for us to fool them when they didn't know who I was.
It's easier to pull out before you jump the shark than to realize that you've jumped the shark.
Yes, yes, and for those that don't know the jump the shark reference, it's Fonz. When the Fonz literally jumped the shark, that's when everyone went, they've run out of ideas in the writers' room. You know the story with that. Obviously, Henry Winkler, who played the Fonz,
Yep.
they literally said, "Do you have any skills that might kind of be of interest to us?" And he couldn't ride a motorbike. So even, how he's playing the big bike, he was terrified. He had no idea how to ride a motorbike. He said he only ever did one scene where he had to learn how to ride it into near the front of the house, but he had no idea how to ride a motorbike. But he said, and he did a bit of water skiing. He said, "Yeah, I've done a bit of water skiing," and they went great. And out of that, a rider went, "Let's have him jump a shark."
Oh, the Fonz. What a legend.
Good
Uh,
Louis.
hey, that's superb. So I guess yeah, we got through to where the success started happening, and I guess from my point of view with you as well back at the start there, it was a pleasure to be involved to sort of do some behind the scenes stuff for you. You went and did the acting and that sort of stuff, and I guess from that point of view, what does success look like for you, and what does it actually mean to you?
It's funny because it's changed. It's changed over the years,
Hmm.
as I guess it does for everyone else. Because like, if we look at the word success, so you wanted to succeed at something. When you when you're a young kid, you just want to get through school and get it over and done with and get out and get a job. And then, but you also see life as a success of one day I'm going to move out of my own home and have my own house and have my own car and I'm going to drive my own Commodore with mags, and that, you know what I mean? You have a few personal goals and you go, oh, I've succeeded. When you first buy your own car, I've succeeded. I've bought a car. And then you get your license and you're out, and then you go on and you can go to a nightclub or a bar and have a beer, which was a big dream when you were a kid. So it's funny because success is that thing down the road. It's where you keep kicking the can down the road to get to success. And then as a young kid, so there's personal goals that you wanted and to meet the partner of your dreams and all that kind of stuff. And I've managed to do that, which is I'm a very lucky man, as you know, with Fliss.
Yeah.
So and then become a dad and have a family and do the right thing by them. So the success of that is to be honest, the biggest goals I've got as a father before is to make sure that I'm raising kids right and providing and doing all that well, and that's a daily chore, as you know, to try and something you've got to kind of keep navigating.
Yeah.
And then there's the business stuff, which is the obvious stuff, I guess, for your podcast, which is it was to get, my dream was to be acting in movies and on television. When I was a kid, my dream was just to be on TV. Henderson Kids or Neighbours, I would have given anything to have been in the Henderson Kids, and I even auditioned for it and didn't get the role, but a mate did. And to be on Neighbours when I was a kid would have been everything. It was a huge deal when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, that was the dream, to be acting on TV. So then, or acting, and, a movie was going to be like, TV was where I wanted to be, but a movie was going to be like, oh my God, imagine if I could be in a movie. And so, of course, when you get there and start to do it, well, the dream then is success is if I can sustain this as a career. And if I can, create enough work to stay in the industry. So I got that success. I got all the things I wanted. Is the truth, and I'm incredibly lucky that I got them all. And then that's why success now is it looks different to me.
Mm.
It's actually about being work-life balance and succeeding at both of those really well, and then getting to a point because I've actually, with what you own and the house you've got and the cars you drive and hopefully you've put a bit away for the back end of life. It's funny, at 55, which I am now, soon to be 56. In theory, I'm 9 to 10 years away from where you, on average, kind of retire.
Mm.
And I've never been so close to retirement. And I've learned that 10 years goes really quick.
Yeah.
Um, we've been in Macedon now. As you know, we moved from Newport to Mount Macedon. We've been here 10 years now.
Yep.
And so I know how quick 10 years goes. I was in Newport for 10 years and,
Yeah.
my youngest is 11. So, I can't believe he's 11. So that's gone like that. So I know how quick 10 years goes. So to kind of circle back to your question of what does success look like now, I'm now wanting to, I can't believe I'm having these chats. I'm planning my retirement as young as I am. But for me and Fliss to travel more, to get our kids to the point that
Mm.
they're set up, they're right, they're feeling great within themselves, emotionally, financially, spiritually, you know what I mean? Not so
Yeah.
much spiritually, but just emotionally,
Yeah.
that they feel supported, loved, and they're ready to go out into the big wide world. And that we can have that happen. And then that I've got, as you know, a few companies and businesses that they're humming along.
Yep.
So the success for me now is to get all of them running just right so that Fliss and I can at the back end of life, go on a holiday together and the work-life balance I want to get to in 10 years is, at the moment I'm working a lot and doing a lot with the family. It's a busy life.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But my dream is to get it to probably 80-20. I want to be 80% me and Fliss enjoying ourselves and just go off and shoot a movie and then come back and go, I might not do anything for 2 months. I'll never give up acting because it's like a musician. Even if you're not playing in a band, doesn't mean you're not playing the instrument. So
Yeah.
I'll never give up acting because I love it and I'll still do shows and perform and everything else. But I'd like to do a version of retirement where I get breaks. So success for me now is getting to the point that I have got myself to a position where I can just do the gigs or do the films that I really want to do, and spend the rest of the time with Fliss drinking a wine somewhere quite nice, even
Yeah.
just home, to be honest.
Yeah. If you're on a plane to Noosa with Fliss, you're not seeing yourself coming back on the other one from Brisbane and
Yeah. Because
drop in at
I do a
home.
lot of flying. I'd love to be on a plane just going on holidays, but
Yeah.
it's just before COVID when I mean, I still fly a lot now, but I know before COVID when it got to fever pitch, I was doing over 200 flights a year. It's a lot,
Yeah.
and nearly all of those were for work. I'd like some of those to be on our way to a holiday, as you say.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Um, so that kind of leads into where are you now and what the future holds. And I guess tell us one of the projects you're working on at the moment that you're most passionate about.
There's a lot. I'll
Yeah,
go through a bit.
I understand you normally do sort of 10 or 12 things at a time. I know you well enough.
I know it's not it's not a normal way of living a life, I'm sure. But so yeah, well, as you know, we've got we bought a pub last year. We're making so we've got the pub that we've renoed. It's been relaunched, and that's going incredibly well. The Dedarang Hotel in the Kiwa Valley, which is sort of 3.5 hours north of Melbourne, or
Yep.
about 30 minutes out of Albury Wodonga, or 40 minutes out of Albury Wodonga, is a rough idea, sort of near Bright or Yakandanda. So that's been a big project, and that's an ongoing project, because
Yep.
we've relaunched it and we've got staff, and I'm actually, not only am I one of the owners of it, but with one of the directors that actually managed what it does from a distance, but still very much involved. There wouldn't be a day go by that I'm not on a call, an email, or dealing with something to do with the pub. So that's been a big one.
Yep.
I've got a TV series that I've developed and created for the ABC. They came to me with an idea and asked me to sort of expand that out, which I've done. So they like that. So I can't say too much about it. But yeah, it's a series with the ABC that that's looking very good.
Nice.
I've got a movie with Rebel Wilson that's coming out in a couple of months called The Deb, as in the debutante, and I've got another couple of films that I'm attached to with some pretty big names connected to that. So they're on the horizon. But I've got a new game show coming out with Channel 7 this year
Right.
that I've been filming overseas. And I've got another couple of TV shows as well. So yeah, and I've got a theatre show me and my brother have written. There's been 19 songs and an entire theatre show written. So there's that and a whole lot more. I've got Tick Tick Boom. I'm executive producer for Tick Tick Boom, which is going to be coming back. It did a run last year, and we're bringing that up to Cairns. And yeah, and to be honest, there's a whole other list of things that are in development at the moment. So and then I've got companies, as the film
Yeah.
truck company and some other businesses, and so yeah, there's a lot. This year started with a bang, to be honest. It's yeah, I thought I'd be on holidays still about now, but uh yeah, and I'm also ambassador. There's a lot of charities that I'm involved in that have all got stuff to do, and I'm an ambassador for quite a few, IGA and Sydney Water and Isuzu Trucks and Easy Trail Campers, and so there's a bit going on there. So it's a big year this year. My schedule's already, yeah, got some overseas work to do. So the schedule this year already looks ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah. That
So,
sound after
so
we just
haven't nailed
chatted.
that work-life balance, have I, Dave?
Well, it sort of flows on from what success looked like for you. I mean, you kind of got an easy point where this is probably, that sounds like a 30-hour day is what you're working on. So
It's
I'm not sure how you fit it all in, but that is amazing. But with a bit of luck,
I keep books, Dave. I have hundreds of books, and they all it's just I surround myself with books, and anytime a line is being dealt with, it gets a yellow line through it. I've been doing this. That's how I've lived my life. I've got friends that still go, "Do you still do the book thing with the yellow highlighter?" I'm like, "Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do life without it." I have
yeah.
heaps of them.
That's amazing. So yeah, no, I reckon you'll get there too. You got over the next 5, 6 years, you'll really, really hit the nail on the head with the work-life balance and get the young bloke sort of upper echelons of school, or you might get through to year 9 or 10 and say, I'm gonna be a sparky or a plumber or something like that, and see where that leads him, and the other kids will be done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my daughter's entering theatre. I'm not sure what my 14-year-old's going to be doing. He's got a few ideas, but I'd love one of them to take on a trade. I'd love them to take on a trade. I think there's so much to be said for having boys and girls just get into a trade where, they're guaranteed work for a lifetime, and it's such a, it's a dying art. We need more tradespeople. I went to a tech school. If I had to come back and someone said, you're not allowed to go into entertainment, you got to do something else, I'd do a trade. God, they
Well,
need more of them.
the 14-year-old, I mean, it's not back at school yet. He's 14, so he'll be still asleep, I guess. He'll be up in about an hour or so. So
He's the rest of the kids have gone back, but yes, my 14-year-old is in bed as we speak, and it's lunchtime. But it's his last day he can do it. And as soon as we get off this, I'm gonna go and shake and wake him because I've got to get him to reset his clock.
yes, the circadian rhythm. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
got to
it.
sort that out.
Hey, thanks so much for having the chat with us. That's great to
Pleasure, mate.
hear where you started from and where you're looking to get to and all that sort of stuff. But it's now time to move on to the fun bit.
Oh yes, I want the fun bit.
All right. So, question one of the fun bit is, what's your favorite food?
I've thought about this, and it's a hard one because there's a lot I don't not like. I'm just gonna go roast lamb. Like
Yep.
if there's only one meal you're allowed to have for the rest of your life, it'd just be roast lamb.
Yep.
So I've decided I've given it the gold medal, silver medal, and a special mention to roast chicken. But my kids can tell you, I would have absolutely no problem at all cooking a roast 3, 4 nights a week, and
Yep.
and going through all the effort and gravy and everything else. I honestly could just do it 3 or 4 nights a week, to the point that my kids, which I just thought was inconceivable, that I'd go, I'm going to do a roast lamb, and they'd almost go, oh God.
Not
I mean,
again.
when I was a kid, if someone said you're going to have roast lamb, I'd go, oh my God, like the Sunday roast, it's a big deal.
That's it.
Yeah, but the fact that I've got my kids to the point that they, oh, like where they actually grunt at roast lamb, I think I've overdone it.
What might be is it their age or their I don't know, they can
I
cook
think
themselves
I
now.
just think I did it too much when they were younger. I used to just, it would mean nothing for me on my way home just to grab a lamb. And I just can't believe how fortunate we are in this country and
Mm.
in my life and where I'm at, that I can think about cooking a roast lamb 3 nights a week.
Amazing.
But when we were growing up, we just didn't have that money, that we used to joke we were so poor growing up at school we couldn't even afford to pay attention.
Yeah, we had plenty of mutton roasts back in the day.
Oh, well, great.
My old man was
Yeah,
a farm labourer, so part of the wages was a sheep or two, and
yeah, fantastic.
there'd be a day out there at the slaughterhouse, and you'd be cutting it up, and kitchen table would be covered with meat and bagging up for the freezer. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's different
No,
these
yeah.
days.
I thought about that question. I thought that one was coming at me, but lamb's it. Lamb's the gold medalist is lamb.
Gold medal lamb, right? So now, final question: if you could have anyone in the history of the world, living or deceased, come round to your fabulous place in Macedon for a roast lamb, who are you bringing?
But it's only one, isn't it?
Well, we'll start
Am,
with
am I
one.
allowed
Let's
to? Am I allowed to talk about some people that are in my mind,
yeah, go for it.
and then get there?
Yeah.
Um, Robin Williams, I'd like to bring back. I'd love to spend some time with Robin Williams, and it'd be quite an interaction,
Yes.
to say the least. And then another one that I'd bring would be Barack Obama. I'd just love to, if of all the presidents or leaders I could meet, the person that I think would be able to talk on in a way and in terms that would be easier for a pretty ordinary bloke like me to understand. I think he'd be the best to be able to kind of explain it to in human terms, in layman's terms.
Yeah.
And I've always found he still has such an eloquent way of explaining things to connect with the common human. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I often think about that. But all that said, the person I would settle on, I think every time would just be Muhammad Ali. So it doesn't matter how many people I put in that waiting room. when they
Yep.
say, "Can I let one in?" As I open the door, I'll go, "Muhammad Ali, could you please enter the room?" So it just,
Yeah.
yeah, I spent my life. My dad runs a boxing gym. I was a sparring partner at a gym for 13 years and did boxing at Dad's gym, and he was just the man that we all looked to and admired more than anyone else on earth, and he was the greatest. I loved it. I'd love to bring him back, and my mum's got Parkinson's,
Mm.
when he was able to kind of, tell you his journey, because it's such an amazing journey, and just someone who was able to kind of stick to his convictions. And you hear a lot of people now, as you know, we've heard the expression, they can talk the talk, but can they walk the walk? I mean, no one ever could walk the walk and talk the talk like him,
Oh
and
yeah.
he could talk the talk better than most, and the walk, he could do more than walk, couldn't he?
Oh
He could
yeah.
do a whole lot more. So I just find his life amazing, and yeah, and spent so long watching him as a kid and admiring him, that yeah, he would be the number one pick. And then I'd then ask Muhammad Ali if I could let Barack Obama in the room to have a chat with him. I reckon he'd let him in.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, thanks so much. It's been great
Pleasure,
to see
mate.
you again, mate, and thanks for
Yeah,
coming
you
on. I hope
too.
you enjoy. I'll put this all together, and I hope you enjoy it. It'll go on at David Walter FP on YouTube. I'll give you a little
Well,
tag and
mate,
see how we go.
awesome to see you again. Awesome to
Yeah,
talk.
yeah,
And yeah, we'll catch up catch up personally at some point, and
yeah,
then who knows? In 5 years, we can do an update and go, how did it work out? Work life balance.
yeah.
You'll be able to check to see if I actually got there or whether I failed.
We might be due for a beer at Deaderang sometime.
Boring.
But effective.